It is Friday, Feel Good Friday. Welcome to CBS News Minnesota Morning Update. I'm Jason DeRusha. So good to have you with us today. How could you not be feeling good? I will be honest, I'm a little sore today because I have a new workout regimen, and it's called raking the dirt spots in my lawn and planting grass seed. So there's a lot of this, a lot of rake, a lot of and so you're like, ooh, new cardio I'm working on. Grass seed. It's because the weather's so nice. We can finally get out there. Our backyards aren't like a lake. And the weather's going to be nice this weekend. Here's your next weather high temperature forecast for today. 70. We put a big 70 on the board. How great is that, right? Yeah, it's going to be terrific out there today. Let's break down the exact day part for you. Why not? And there it is. This is like, if this were like a Vegas slot machine, we are coming up sun, sun, sun. The payout is tremendous for today. Why is this not a top 10 weather day? Right? Like, this is one of the, notice like when the tough questions come up, where is next weather meteorologist Riley O'Connor? He's clearly having breakfast. He's afraid to take the heat. This should be a top 10 weather day. Tomorrow could be a top 10 weather day. Might be a little windy. Oh, a little windy. We can't have a top 10 weather day because someone might send an email and say it's windy. Mother's Day, it's going to be better than it was last week. We got that. Might be raining, so be ready for that. Okay, Good News Friday, Feel Good Friday. That is what we do here. We want to hear your good news. We give you a live picture of the beautiful blue sky, the WCCO Next Weather Tower, blazing red as we're in this nice warm weather pattern. Maybe the weather is your feel good news. Maybe you've got some plans coming up. I have some good news about my 16-year-old. I'm going to do a little dad bragging for you as we share your comments coming up in just a minute. So leave those reactions on Facebook, and we will share some of your comments in just a minute. Higher interest rates. I don't think anybody's feeling good about that. Could have an impact on the Twin Cities housing market. We'll see. The Fed raised rates by 0.5%. That is not a direct line to 30-year fixed rate. If you have a home equity line of credit, you noticed your rate immediately went up because it's tied to that prime rate. But this is all interconnected. So look at the loan rates right now. $30,000 mortgage is going to cost you nearly $400 more a month than it would a year ago. So this really shrinks your buying power, right? Maybe you could afford a $300,000 home last year, and now you're looking at this and saying, like, maybe we can only afford like $270. Historically speaking, this is still very low, right? 5.5% is still a heck of an interest rate compared to the double digits that, you know, our parents saw in the 80s, or even we were seeing around 2010. Demand for housing is still so high. Supply is low. So the market is hot, and maybe this will right-size things. Who knows? Some prospective buyers say the increase is making them think twice.
If prices went down a little bit and interest rates kind of plateaued and didn't continue to increase, I would definitely be open to looking again.
Yeah, many mortgage lenders and realtors expect those interest rates to go up even more. And so, you know, that could cool things off. But is $400 a month going to make a difference if you've been desperately seeking a house? Who knows? Pauline Lee, our reporter, talked with a realtor this morning who gave a couple of tips for her, including this idea, which I had never heard of. Maybe bring your home inspector along on your kind of open house tour or your showing. So you can do kind of a quick inspection as you're there. So some of the things to think about in this hot market. Price of gasoline, no big surprise as the Fed raised rates, concerns over inflation. The market took a dive and gas prices are going up. National average for a gallon of gas is back over $4, $4.24. It's up more than a dime from last week. And in Minnesota, this average is $3.92, but I saw $4.04 on my drive into work. At 3:30 this morning, so I bet more places are going to be going up. It was $3.90 at my gas station yesterday. $3.92 is our state average. So prices going up. This is a very interesting story involving the mother of Daunte Wright and the police department that killed her son. She, driving around, saw a traffic stop. That's what she perceived was happening. And so she pulled over on the highway. She says her rights were violated. Brooklyn Center shared the body camera video. This is from Wednesday. Katie Wright said she saw two people stopped by police on Wednesday, so she pulled off the road. Now look at the road. It's a busy highway. And one of the officers was like, "What's going on?" And she's rolling video. You see the officer kind of grabbed her arm. She got out of the car. She says he pulled her out of the car. And he did take her phone. You see that? Here's what she said to the officer.
You know who I am, right? My name is Katie Wright. And I promise you, you guys killed my son, and I'm going to videotape it. And if you take me to jail, I will sue you.
Yeah, a tough situation all the way around, right? The officer basically threatened to take her to jail right before she said that for obstruction. Then he did let her go. The City of Brooklyn Center said in a statement that the officers here were assisting with a high-risk stop as part of a homicide investigation. And one of those officers kind of came over and was like, "What are you doing here?" as someone pulled up right behind it. They also, I don't know what this has to do with anything, but they say that the suspect said she didn't want her arrest to be recorded. I don't know quite how that's germane, one way or the other. The police union president issued, I don't know, I think you would agree this is a fairly measured statement, right? Said the officer was professional, thanked him for showing restraint, and went on to say that I sympathize with the Wright family. I think everybody does, right? The officer says it does not give that family, though, free rein to stalk, harass, or threaten any of our officers just because they're wearing a uniform. I'm not sure that's exactly what she did either. Wright says she's talked with the Brooklyn Center mayor and she wants the officer fired. So you can see all the way around, like a lot of emotion about this, right? If you're Katie Wright, you understand, like you're going to react. And so maybe the officer went too far, maybe not. That's for you and for the department to decide. Let's talk about COVID cases. They're on the rise again in some areas, including Minnesota. And it's sort of hard to know, like, how are we supposed to feel about this, right? We all have friends who are testing positive and in quarantine, and it sort of feels like something's out there. The numbers bear it out. These are cases. And last week, you know, I mean, it's hard to get too caught up in the numbers because how many people are testing, how many people are reporting. But the trend is pretty clear, right? It's up. And even compared to early January when it seemed like everybody had COVID, around 10,000 cases is what the state reported last week. Hospitalizations, it's the same trend line. You know, if you look at the bar chart graph on the left, the numbers are way lower. But, you know, at the start of the year, you had around 1,000, 1,500. Now we're down in the 200 to 300 area. But the trend, it's all about the trend, and COVID's still out there. So make decisions according to how you feel about that. Minnesota Twins feeling the effects of COVID as well. 3 people are out on COVID protocol, and the Twins are back home for a 3-game series against Oakland right now. The manager, Rocco Baldelli, infielder Luis Arraez, and pitcher Dylan Bundy all are on the COVID list. They're all vaccinated. They're only experiencing minor symptoms, which is good. Carlos Correa is maybe in a little bit of pain. Actually, guys, we can't show you this video because this is a sports highlight, but Carlos Correa may have broken his finger. He was hit by a pitch last night in the 5th inning. So he'll have a CAT scan. We just wanted to update you on that today. And I don't want to show this video of the Minnesota Wild either, but I do want to let you know that the Wild are going to be playing against the Blues, St. Louis Blues, Game 3 of the playoffs tonight. 8:30 in St. Louis is when that starts, and there's a watch party at XL Energy Center. You do have to register early to get tickets at the Wild's website. Lynx also, bear in mind, the Minnesota Lynx, that season, if you're a basketball fan and you're like, oh, the Wolves are done, the Lynx are in action. On the road tonight against the Seattle Storm. That game starts at 9 p.m., but their home opener Sunday night here at Target Center. Okay, that is the sports portion of this. I hope you just got a mental image of some of those. The Wrights, the sports teams will come from us. If I showed a sports highlight in this, I'm telling you, like, you know, Roger Goodell would be down here tackling me. Like, all of the Rob Manfred, that little weasel would come down here and just, like, his goons would be beating the living daylights out of me. So that was close. I can show you that Elon Musk is like, show this all day long. Safe splashdown for SpaceX in the early morning hours. Isn't that cool? I mean, come on. Wouldn't it be cool to be like a photographer for NASA? This stuff, the images are so magical. The Dragon capsule makes a safe return to Earth. This is in the Gulf of Mexico, just off of Tampa. And that capsule had 4 astronauts, including a Wisconsin native, Raja Chari. So that's pretty cool. Wanted to talk about this pay survey that just came out because it's sort of hilarious. They surveyed college graduates and said, how much money do you think you'll make in your first job? And they're overestimating their starting salary by a lot. And I don't blame the young people. I blame the companies. Why are you people so cheap? Okay, pay the people. Give us more money. Most students, college grads, expect to make 6 figures at their first job. Sure, why not? Average starting salary for recent grads is about $55,000 a year, but hey, aim high. The survey shows the undergraduate class of 2022 across all majors overestimate their starting salaries by 88%. And who has the most unrealistic expectations? The people responsible for transmitting facts to America, journalists. They overestimate their starting salaries by 139%. Journalists think they're going to make $107,000 their first year on the job. The actual average is just below $45,000. Which is pretty bad for a college graduate, but like a lot of people start in small towns. My first job was $18,000 a year in Davenport, Iowa. But bear in mind, this was 1997. It's a long time ago. And what are starting salaries now? They're not that much better. So is this students being crazy, or is this my business being cheap? You decide. Police in Los Angeles, I've decided, say the man who charged a comedian on stage no felony charges. Look at this video, Dave Chappelle. This is the first video. This is from TMZ. And then kaboom. So you're like, all right, this is scary, right? Like, you don't know what this guy's up. Well, it turns out this guy had a replica handgun, and look what was inside, a knife. 23-year-old Isaiah Lee will face 4 misdemeanor charges because he committed battery, they say. He committed an assault, but not to a felony level. Unclear what the motive was, what he was thinking here. Chappelle was not injured. One more story to tell you about before we get to your feedback. This discovery at a Goodwill store in Texas. This is actually a looted sculpture. It was stolen from a museum during World War II in Germany. Somehow it ends up at a Goodwill store in Texas, where a woman bought it for $35. She didn't know what it was when she bought it. She just thought, like, this is weird. She had it appraised. It's over 2,000 years old. It's previously owned by King Ludwig of Bavaria, but after World War II, apparently looted. So because it's looted, she had stolen property. So what are you supposed to do with it? It took her 4 years to sort it out. She had an international art lawyer, and it will ultimately go back to Germany, but as part of the deal they worked out, it'll be on display at the San Antonio Museum of Art through May of next year. Weird, right? What a weird story. Okay, back to our talker today, which is good news. Good news Friday. Simon will take this weather all summer. Yep. Danielle finally got to ride her bike to work. That's good news, Danielle. Congrats. Today is my day. I'm getting the bike out. Abigail, we get to grill outside finally. Yeah, it is perfect grilling weather. Oh, Jackie's 6-year-old son gave me a birthday Mother's Day present he made at school. Oh, I love the questionnaires. He said he loves me more than computers. Holy moly. Jackie, yeah, that is a huge win because he loves computers like a lot. Any kid who says they love their mom more than computers, that's big. You are winning in the mom game for sure. My good news is my 16-year-old took the ACT test at school a couple weeks and just got the score back, and the ACT is on a scale up to 36. And Seth got a 34, which is crazy. So I got, for perspective, I got a 31. I know, you're like, I didn't know Jason was that smart. That's right, I used to be that smart. 20 years in TV news, folks. Let's hope for better for Seth. But 34, I'm so proud. So that's really good. Seth also got a letter from like some marketing material from Harvard yesterday, which, you know, it's just marketing material, but still. With a 34, why not? Send in that application. I do not want to pay for Harvard, though, just on the record. Hope you have a great weekend. Shout out to all the moms. We love you. Have a great Mother's Day. We'll be back here Monday, and I hope you're here too.